Karl Marx believed that workers have no country. For him, the nation-state was a tool of oppression, hence his famous rallying call, "Workers of the world, unite." You don't know about the workers, but some pretentious communists still cherish this dream, this impossible dream of a communist earth. And some of them are here in India. And guess who's their communist guru? The People's Republic of China. It is celebrating 100 years of the ruling Communist Party. There were big celebrations in Beijing. But Indian communist leaders were stuck home. They felt left out, perhaps, overlooked by Beijing. Then came Redemption Day. The Chinese embassy in India hosted a seminar to celebrate the CCP's centenary, 100 years. Who would the party invite? Hundreds of eager Indian communists to choose from, it seems. But these leaders made the cut. Sitaram Yechuri, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, CPIM, D. Raja, a parliamentarian of the Communist Party of India, G. Devarajan, top leader of the All India Forward Bloc, and Senthil Kumar, a DMK legislator. What did they do at this meeting at the Chinese embassy? Well, basically nothing. The ambassador droned on about Chinese communism, and these leaders sat and listened. They were seat fillers for Beijing's gimmick. The Chinese ambassador took full advantage. He said Beijing wanted peace, non-aggression, and mutual respect. Hollow words. But how did the Indian leaders respond to these words? They sat in silent approval. They congratulated the CCP on its centenary. They spoke highly of the party's quote-unquote great achievements and commended, and I'm quoting again, commended their people-centric governance. How do we know this? This was the Chinese embassy's version of the meeting, and so far these Indian leaders have not denied it, so it's safe to assume that's exactly how it went down. What great achievements were they talking about here? Was it the crackdown in Hong Kong? The ethnic cleansing in Xinjiang? Or maybe the elimination of the Tibetan culture? Modern-day China is a disgrace to Marx and communism, but these Indian leaders fail to realize that. This is the same country that markets expansionism. They attacked and killed Indian soldiers at Galwan Valley. They attempted to grab India's sovereign land. And what do Indian communists do? Attend their seminars, hear sermons on the greatness of Chinese communism. Well, why can't they shake off this unholy loyalty? What ties these people to communist overlords in Beijing? You could say it's a continuation of history. Do you know the CPI was founded not in India, but in Tashkent, Uzbekistan? And back then the party was controlled by Communist International. It was a Soviet propaganda machine. Its mission was global communism. So putting party over country is nothing new for them. Let me give you an example. When China invaded Tibet, this is how the CPI reacted. They applauded Beijing for leading Tibetans from what they called medieval darkness, and they blamed Indian elements for stirring trouble. And this continued when India and China went to war. Some communist leaders openly supported the Chinese. That's how the party split in 1964. If you think this is all water under the bridge, it's not. The Chinese connection has not been severed. I'll tell you about a more recent event. 2017, during the Doklam standoff, the CPIM pinned the blame on the government of India. Would you believe it? And wait till you hear their reasons. India has openly sided with the US position on the South China Sea. India has opposed the Belt and Road Initiative. Within the country, the Modi government has increased the profile of the Dalai Lama and the so-called Tibetan Provisional Government, which are serious irritants for China. This was their logic. So to recap, India escaped a debt trap and sided with a persecuted minority. So the CPIM sees this as an escalation, an irritant for China, as they put it. Do you notice the pattern here? Indian communist leaders have a weak spot for China. They don't even bother hiding it. In the last century, these leaders looked up to the Soviet Union. Now they see China as a spiritual successor. But here's a bitter pill. Neither of these countries deserve to be called communist. They exploited workers. They crushed dissent. They ran extermination camps. One of them disintegrated. The other is still going strong. By tying themselves to China, these Indian communists are crossing to the wrong side of history. What are they hoping for in return? Funds? Organizational support? But at what cost? They're forgetting slain Indian soldiers and forgiving China's crimes. This is not communism. This is not politics or ideology. This is blind faith in an evil empire that has long lost its way. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.